Okay, this is where a lot of the secrets are held. Not only my past, but also an individual named Thor Christensen. And I'm just going to tell the story, okay? If you don't believe me, don't. But I lived it. I'm unlocking the vault. Doesn't look like much, huh? But there's a lot more than that. 4th grade. And voila, that's me. Number 87 in football. Okay, enough about me. Girlfriend, Laura Callahan. She was nothing short than beautiful. And that's my dog, Nick. And my best friend, Doug Thompson. This was to prove I was a contractor. There's my grandma and grandpa, and my 2 wonderful boys. Yep. And all sorts of high school, bullshit. Okay. Nick was a good dog. Okay. But we're here to talk about Thor. Thor. What a piece of work Thor was. And I'm going to get you kindergarten pictures and hopefully more pictures, but I got some friends that have more information than I do, but I knew Thor very well. Let's just put it at that. Okay. Thor and I grew up in Solving. His parents owned Margaret and Paul. It's a restaurant right off Copenhagen and I think First Street. And my parents owned Wilkes Park Drive-In. And as as a young boy, I mean, I never, you know, I didn't really think too much about Thor, except for, you know, when me and John Rasmussen one day, you know, we were at his house, and all of a sudden his dad said, you know, you gotta leave, and okay, we walked out the door and proceeded to hear his dad beating, you know, it sounded like he was beating the shit out of him. But, you know, that was like, oh wow, okay, and yeah, we didn't think too much about it. I mean, I think that was in second grade or whatever, but yeah, he, you know, they own the restaurant there in town, and we really didn't think too much about Thor. I mean, it was like, oh wow, his dad beats the shit out of him. Of course, his dad was a fucking major alcoholic. His dad would sit in Margaret and Paul's. I remember him sitting there smoking a cigarette, and I used to like to go in there to get their soup. And but you know, and until we got, well, I mean, I remember in first grade, he weighed over 100 pounds. And it was like, wow, man, it's like, fuck, you know, and he's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Dane, full-on Dane, and then, you know, through school, we never really, you know, I didn't hang out with them too much until high school. And I remember one time, me and Thor and John Rasmussen, we were at the high school, and John was giving Thor a bunch of shit, you know, and I didn't even see it happen, but I turned around and he'd fucking smacked John and knocked him down, you know. It was like, and so that's when I knew he had a temper. He definitely had a temper, and yeah, it was. It was kind of weird, but we still didn't think anything about him. You know, Thor was Thor. And then in high school, he used to drive a Mustang, and the cops were always after him because he smoked pot, and he used to hide the pot underneath the car, like, you know, he had it completely hidden. And the cops, as far as I know, I don't think they couldn't catch him. He was like, but then as we got into high school, and you know, my brother had a fake ID, and I had glasses, and I mean, I was 16 years old, and I remember buying them 151, and never never thought too much about that either. But and this was still in high school, and but he was never athletic or nothing, and but it's like, well, he went on an alcohol diet, and he lost a bunch of weight. I mean, he went from like 200 pounds down to, 150 or, and, but that was just high school. And, still, nobody, nobody knew. And, but I'll get you some pictures, and I'll, yeah. This is part one.